You know how I've been having issues of late with getting like a shower, ensuite, toilet sort of cubicle mounted on my vehicle, because basically it's just no room, there's just no mounting points left.
Down to the ground, and all you're going to do is grab it in the middle and pull it out.
When you got a setup like this, it literally takes like a minute to set up. I don't want to be sitting there and spend another 5-10 minutes to set up an ensuite, basically. Started taking the ensuites where you've got to carry in your vehicle, and then there's more work in setting up, so they take room, they generally are heavier. I mean, they're brilliant, as great as they are. It's something that's always been critical to me, is to have some type of ensuite mounted on my vehicle. So you're probably now aware what it is. I think it's time to introduce what I've been waiting for all this time. What it is, it's called a Bundusuite, B-U-N-D-U-S-U-I-T-E, Bundusuite. A Bundusuite is an ensuite. It's not like any other ensuite. This is 2.1 meters by 1.2. You might think it's heavy. No, guys, weighs around 5.5, 6 kilos. They're on a ladder because now what they're installing is a roof cover. And these are quite a unique system, the way it works. When you see the setup video, how all this sets up now, it's just, wow, just amazing. So I don't know if I ever mentioned on YouTube channel, but at times I've had issues where I'd climb up into the rooftop tent and water sometimes sits on top, wrong finger, on top of the rooftop tent there, depending, particularly if the rooftop tent is flat. The first time I used the rooftop tent, I camped in it for a week and it poured down like 100 mils, 120 mils. And here I am climbing up the ladder, and as soon as I got to the top rung of the ladder, woof, I actually had a big waterfall just fly over me. So guys, this is going to rectify that. So what this is, what they're installing now, is a roof that covers the entranceway, and it's unique how it actually sets up.
So the top section, Phil, traditionally would come as part of the added room. So if you were to buy the added room annex, you'd have the top section, but you'd have the bag of walls that you have to Velcro in. The Bundusuite is the same product, it has the same functionality, but instead of having the walls that you Velcro in, you get this lower section which replaces the walls. So in essence, when you buy the added room, you get the top and a bag of walls. When you buy the Bundusuite, you get the top and the lower
top
section.
And the lower section.
So it's the same product, principally it does exactly the same thing, but the Bundusuite has the functionality of being able to be opened without having to open the tent. How you going, guys?
Eddie, of course, owner, proprietor.
Indeed, indeed.
Of Eddie's Auto Marine. So he's the man to talk to, guys, about these Bundutecs. So any questions you have, if you're in the Southeast District area and you're chasing up one of these, talk to Eddie. So, right, so he's about to show me how to set this up for the first time.
So the first thing really, Phil, we just want to cover off two things. There's a bit of a misconception when people look up online the difference between the added room and a Bundusuite. So you see here that the Bundusuite contains two components, which is the lower section or the wall section, and then a top section which actually makes the roof of the Bundusuite. Now you can buy this top section, this added room section, as the top section only, with a bag of walls that you have to Velcro in to give you your annex. But it does require that the tent be opened fully in order for you to actually create that annex. So the big pro with the Bundusuite is that the Bundusuite can actually be used freestanding. So irrespective of whether the tent's open or closed, if you just need someone to somewhere to shower or to go to the bathroom or change, all you need to do is undo your Velcro straps, let the canvas unfurl down to the ground, and all you're going to do is grab it in the middle and pull it out.
How cool is that, guys? You see how quick that is? Hey, look at the size of it. You'll be able to see in comparison to me. I reckon I'd fit in there.
So once you've opened it, you've got a wall with a zip down in this far corner, And internally you've also got a privacy screen, so if you don't want people to see what you're up to, you can obviously Velcro it up, or you can open it out to have a bit of a window. And as I said, the real big pro with this is being able to use it completely freestanding. Obviously it does require to be guided into the ground whilst it's out. You know, if it gets a bit windy, the walls will start to flap. Yep. But essentially, you know, this is a lot more convenient and twice the size of your average shower.
But the breeze would have to be up a fair bit, because I notice you do have some weight down the bottom. There is some bars on the bottom there, yep, which I'll be able to show you in another video. Weighs it down.
So obviously the erection of this is due to the fact that there's gas struts in the top of the frame here, so it does actually self-erect. All you need to do is give a little tug and it'll actually open itself. Yep. Down at the bottom of the walls you'll see still there's actually your aluminium frame here, so this is just what's locking that square out at the bottom. Putting it away is nice and simple again. Doesn't matter so much about the interior window being closed, but what you're going to do is when you come to close it, you're going to put your hand at the top here, just going to put that rod in at the bottom so that it actually breaks the arm in the two, so it helps to fold. Good. Fingers in the middle, watch your fingers inside that you don't get them trapped inside of the awning. Push it in and zip down on the corner slightly, and that should help this side from popping back out. And then you do the same on this side.
Same on the other side, so you kick that down in, that off.
And then once
in as well.
Once it's in,
cover that up.
You just keep those zips down towards the bottom.
Yeah.
That should stop it from opening on you. Okay, and then all it is a case of grabbing all of it from the bottom. Again, nice
and
big,
then just roll
nice big bag, so you don't have to go too tight.
Yeah.
And once she's up there, Velcro her back in, zip it up. What we're going to do now is open the whole setup together, so the top section and the bottom section. So obviously first and foremost, before we start, obviously we are going to be opening the tent, so we want to make sure that all the latches have been removed and that your power supply for the tent's turned on. Once you've done that, all you're going to do is install the ladder, climb the ladder in order to gain access to the top half. What we're going to do is actually just unvelcro our top section and allow it to roll down the ladder. And once we get it down here, you'll notice there's a carabiner clip in the middle. We're just going to undo that. Always good to take the carabiner off before you swing it into the side of the car. And then what you're going to do is hold the bar at the bottom and then press up on the tent.
That's that cover I was talking about, guys. It's going to now shelter me from the rain, the sun.
Once the top's up, inside of the pole there's two stainless valves. These actually locate on the front and the back of the tent's frame and then secure into the pole. Pull this out here. Do the same on the front.
Oh yeah, you see there's a hole here.
Yep. Actually locate on the side, and then these wings here, normally just put a half knot in here to put a little bit more tension on them. We'll just hook up onto the side of the rivet on the front, and same on the back.
Oh, awesome.
One thing to remember is that once the top section's open, you don't necessarily need to open the bottom. If you just want a little bit of shade or a little bit of rain cover, you can just leave it this way. The only thing you must do is guy it down into the ground when it's being used. Because of how the rods locate in here, if the wind gets up underneath of it, it will come undone. Best case scenario, it hits the car. Worst case scenario, it hits you. So if you guy it into the ground, you'll stop that from happening. Once it's out and obviously unfilled, once you've got the walls out, however, these guy ropes aren't completely removed from needing to be used, but it does limit their need to be used, because obviously once these are velcroed into the top and pegged into the ground, this is going to provide that support of pulling down without having to use the guy rope, but it's always advisable. Now once the top section's open, with the Bundusuite, if you want to then open the bottom half as well, there's one step that you would have to do, which you wouldn't have to do with the normal added room. So in the normal added room, this section wouldn't be here. You'd actually have a bag with walls in, and they would actually Velcro into these panels and obviously hang off of the roof section.
Is it all one piece, or is it 3 walls and you join in the middle? Or?
It's actually one piece, so it's 5. Effectively, it's nearly 5 meters
and
of
it
fabric.
covers the back as well.
It only covers the 3 sides, the added room wall.
Okay.
So it covers the 2 sides and the main front,
Okay.
but it doesn't actually lay down on the side of the vehicle like the
that's
Bundusuite
interesting, because
does.
I was never sure about that, so
Yep.
it's good to know that now.
So to open the Bundusuite, there is the extra step. You'll have to remove the ladder, place that out the way. And again, we're going to do exactly as we did before. We're just going to unzip everything. Let the fabric unfurl.
The 3 Velcros.
And if you want, just grab the middle one.
Pull the middle and it's just...
And that's it. And then all you're going to do is you're going to walk around, and you're going to actually just match your Velcro up to the canvas.
Okay, so we've got Velcro here, Velcro on the Velcro, what, in 3 places. All right, and that's fully sealed.
Indeed, indeed. We'll show you in a moment. We'll actually go inside this annex, because there's 2 features internally, or 1 feature internally with the zip on the inside. It has 2 functions. Firstly, obviously to gain access to the ladder brackets, you'll need to unzip the panel internally to actually hang the ladder. But secondly, for people who've got vehicles like myself who've got a canopy door, you can actually completely unzip this zip on the inside and still open a full-length canopy door on the inside to gain access to your clothing and all that kind of stuff, which is exactly what's on my vehicle. Phil, when we're inside the construction of the Bundusuite, and obviously the gas struts which assist the opening, so that's what makes these things so easy to open up. Now, the internal of the canopy here, you'll see on the Bundusuite, you've actually got the 4th wall which lines the side of the vehicle. So there is a zip that allows you to open this panel all the way up. So obviously for guys who've got canopies with toolboxes, you can still gain access inside. I mean, you could gain access through the door here for Phil if you wish, but obviously it's a bit limited. Main reason for the zip, however, is that when you look under here, we've still got access to our ladder brackets. So what we do is once the Bundusuite's open, we can then hook up our ladder brackets onto the side of the vehicle, and then we take our zip, we actually zip our zip back up until we get to the ladder. So now what we've done is completely enclosed it, tried to keep the weather out as best possible, and now you can obviously get in and out of the tent without getting wet.
No reason why I couldn't leave that window open. I could have that window open. I would just go in the car, open this window, and then gain access to any of the gear I need to in here, because if it rains, well, there's no way water's going to get in there, is there?
Not unless the wind's really driving from the side. I mean, the fact that you've got your brim awning, this added room annex, and the walls, incredibly unlikely. What we'll do is we'll take it apart, we'll show you how to put it all away. So obviously, first things first is we'll take that ladder off now, get the ladder out of the way. And ideally we want to zip this up when we go to put everything away. If you leave it unzipped, when you roll it up, the piece of fabric tends to get in the way when you try and put the Velcro on. So make sure everything's all zipped
this
up.
One zipped up.
That's exactly right. And then we can pop out and we'll show you how to put it all away.
And one thing I noticed, it's a warm day, but you notice how cool it is actually
it's
in
not too
here.
hot in here at all, yeah. So the canvas is a slightly lighter gauge canvas than the actual tent, purely because we want to try and weight save. You know, we're trying to keep the weight of everything down, and the exposure of this particular product is not going to be that of the tent. The tent's going to be used on a really regular basis, this one not so much. But again, we're always chasing that weight, and it's really unnecessary to go with like a 250 or 280 GSM canvas on something like this.
Eddie's going to show me how to pack this away.
So before we do that, I'm just going to quickly show you here, because obviously there's a mention there of how cool it was inside. All the Bundutec awnings and their annexes come with an aluminized top coating, which is designed to reflect that sun. So obviously it helps to keep those internal temperatures down. Putting this one down, again, nice and simple. We're just going to zip this door up. And as we did before, I'm just going to come over, undo our Velcro. So we want to make sure that we've got everything disconnected where we can. Once we're free and we're no longer connected, we're just going to push in the middle.
So you're just holding here.
Yep.
And then you put kicking
Yep,
in
just
there.
give it a kick with your foot, and all you need to do is just push
and
it
just
toward
push
the
in.
end. Now you've got to
cover that up over the end.
Yeah, be careful not to put your fingers on the inside, because obviously you will
On the
trap your
inside of what?
over the top of the frame. You want to try and push like this, as opposed to with your fingers over the top of it. Because
So you push that in.
yeah, so push in the middle. That's it.
Yeah.
Push with a flat palm as opposed to with your fingers over the edge. That's it.
All right.
Just make sure that bag's out. Really important when you do close it to try and close it with an open palm like this, as opposed to with your fingers over the top.
I can see me fingers going to get caught in there, guys, before I learn that. You know that, Ed.
You've got to do it a few times before you learn, and then
I bet
again,
it's happened to you.
it has a few times. So all you're going to do is grab everything at the bottom, and again, you don't have to stress about rolling anything too tight. The bag's been specifically made bigger to be able to handle. The bags
That's
are
awesome.
actually the same canvas construction as the tent, so they're actually a much heavier gauge canvas than the actual wall panels themselves. So putting the top down, you can do it without the ladder on.
Yeah.
My experience is it's a lot easier if the ladder's actually fitted. Two reasons. Firstly, because when the top section comes down, it actually slides down the ladder as opposed to down the side of the vehicle. So if you've got a lovely brand new car and you don't want to scratch it, it's easier to leave the ladder there. But you're going to need to have the ladder on when you come to put everything away, because even if the tent was down, with the tent down, you're still too tall to actually put everything in the bag. And what happens is with the fabric down, you've got to try and get the ladder on, pull the fabric out, it's just a nightmare. So if you do it this way, all you need to do, unhook the two sections of triangular fabric off of the two rivets on the front and back, so they're free. You're going to remove the stainless dowels and just lay those on the floor out the way for the moment, and then press down. Again, obviously just being visually aware of how the tent goes up and down, making sure that nothing's going untoward. It doesn't necessarily have to go all the way down. And then obviously what you're going to do with that rod there, Phil, is just slide it up the bum of that tube, and then this one you are going to have to make a little bit tighter. The bag's still pretty generous, but if you get a bit too lazy with the bag, you'll find you'll struggle to get it in. And when you're up here on the top of the ladder, you don't really want to be rolling around and trying to fight it back into the bag. Essentially that's it. I mean, obviously the main pro, of course, is being able to use this completely independently of it. I mean, as far as the construction of this Bundusuite is identical to that of the Bundutec. The frame is identical, bar the length. So the actual difference in weight is actually only the extra canvas of the 1.2 meter length on the ends. So it weighs pretty much the same as the Bundutec, but you've got twice the product for the same sort of weight. If you're chasing weight and you really, you want that privacy, it's a no-brainer. So there you go, that's your Bundusuite. Thanks very much.
I really appreciate that. So, yeah, done a great job. Sweet. All right, cheers. Thanks for watching. As always, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my video yet, and put a like if you like the video. Any questions whatsoever, just put a comment down below. I'm going to put Eddie's contact details down below as well, so we'll have his phone number there and his address, so you'll be able to find him. Give him a call, ask any questions you want. You want to set up like this, he's the guy to talk to. For those outside the southeast area, go on the Bundutec Australia website, because there are resellers that are dotted pretty much most all over the country. In fact, there's even one up in Bundaberg where I live. Would you believe that? There's actually a reseller up there in Bundaberg, which is awesome. So guys, as I mentioned before, put a like on the video. It'll help with the algorithm of my YouTube channel, and please subscribe. That'll also help my channel, and it'll keep this production going for a bit longer, hey? So the more help I get, the more videos out there. So till next time, look after yourself, be kind to everyone, go out camping, enjoy yourself. Cheers.